Today we visit Quinn Island, otherwise known as Graves Island, and Kaiara Bay for a walk up to the Kaiara hut and back, although we go a slight amount further. This is part of the sailing series. If you enjoy the video, please don't forget to press the subscribe, ring the bell, press the like button and leave comments and ask questions as required. Great Barrier Island gained its name from the shelter it provides to the Hauraki Gulf. Great Barrier Island was named by Captain Cook in 1769. The island has an important place in Maori history with numerous archaeological sites dating back many centuries. Port Fitzroy has long been a favourite destination for yachties as it offers shelter in almost all weather conditions. From the 1840s, the island's copper, silver, timber and whaling attracted European settlement. After saying goodbye to our kids, grandkids and extended family from the campsite at Aotea Bay, we will explore Quinn Island. We have just collected supplies from Port Fitzroy Wharf. The boat is anchored in Aotea Bay currently. Our return to the boat from the wharf passes Quinn Island. We have passed this island on many occasions but never stopped. The locals refer to this island as Graves Island. Quinn Island is an island in Port Fitzroy that is located between Rarahara Bay and Aotea Bay and is a subsidiary island of Great Barrier Island. Care is required as you approach Quinn Island, as there are many shallow rocks at the island edges with sharp shellfish attached. The Fitzroy Wharf end of the island has the easiest approach, with concrete steps installed. The Finn family. Peter William and Charlotte Finn landed on the beach with two boys, Henry and Peter, and not much else, sometime between 1859 and 1861. Along with others, they were among, if not the first, permanent settlers at Port Fitzroy. Peter was laid to rest here in December 1915. aged 79, and Charlotte April 1925, aged 89. Peter Hubert, their son, married Charlotte Angus Bush. Although the date is not well recorded, Peter and Charlotte both also rest on this island. Peter Hubert died in May 1955, aged 80. Charlotte followed 2 years later in 1957, aged 63. Violet Florence Flynn, who I could find no further information on other than this headstone, married John Desmond Dixon and became Violet Florence Dixon. She is buried here with her husband John, who lived from the 7th of January 1920 and died 24th of August 2005. Violet was born 12th of December 1923 and died the 9th of February 2012. Peter William Flynn, depicted in the simple headstone, is also buried here. There are no records of him to be found, unfortunately, other than this headstone. He lived from 1925 to 1993 and died at 68 years old. The sheer depth of this lineage shows the connection this particular family has to the island, especially Port Fitzroy. Henry and Sarah Bush, Charlotte's parents, plus their son Robert, are buried here. Charlotte, their daughter, married Peter Flynn and is buried here with him also. I could not track down any other relatives of the Bush family, so I assume the offspring lie in the offspring Peter Flynn and Charlotte had when married. What I am sure of is that they were among the Fitzroy Harbour's pioneering families. Philip and Selina Warren lie side by side on top of this island. I am assuming Warren's track is probably linked to these two in some way, given that they would have been alive in the later part of the 1800s to the early 1900s. I did find reference to the Warren family during and after the Second World War at Port Fitzroy, but nothing specifically prior to this. Finally, we come to the Leroy family. Emulous George Leroy chose farming rather than following in his father's footsteps. He chose to make a life on Great Barrier Island. His father was a sailmaker and prominent businessman. He and his new bride, Sarah Jane, lived in a small hut on their piece of land in Rahahara Bay, Port Fitzroy, to the west of Peachtree Creek, while they had a house built. Emulus became postmaster in 1884 and held that position for 40 years until 1923. Shown on this gravestone also is Vera, who was just 10 days old when she died in 1886. She was Emulus's daughter. In 1901, tragedy struck the family when their eldest son Emulus Jr. was drowned at the age of 21 after he capsized his yacht. His companion swam ashore. Sarah Jane, Emulus's wife, died in 1906, and she is also buried here. Emulus George died in 1944, but his final resting place I could not locate, but it is on the island. Many members of the Leroy family, Finn and Bush pioneer families are buried on this uninhabited grave island at Fitzroy Harbour. Of the Leroy family, the following were buried here: Emulus George Leroy, Sarah Jane Leroy, Mary Waterman, formerly Leroy, Albert Waterman, May's husband, Vera Lee Leroy, Selwyn Joseph Leroy, Emulus Leroy Jr., and Amy Alice Bone, formerly Leroy, with her son Jack. Quinn Island is a very small island, and as such the history residing here is a very small part of Great Barrier Island's vast history. There is Maori history going back centuries on this island, and European history from the late 18th century to today, starting with Captain Cook's arrival. There are many places of interest on this island. There are archaeological artefacts, the remains of a Kauri Dam, the remains of New Zealand's last whaling station can be seen, many shipwrecks around the island and dozens of historic buildings, not to mention bushwalks, swimming, diving, fishing and fine dining. Attached to this video are links to information from DOC and Auckland City Council on Great Barrier's history. The photos inserted of the Leroy's former residences are courtesy of the Auckland City Council Aotea Great Barrier Island Historic Heritage Survey, linked to this video. There is also a link to a Word document on the Bush family I found during my research. The drone footage you are viewing is of Akapua Bay around Quinn Island at Port Fitzroy. The footage is from 2017, but nothing in this area has changed since then. It is now the 14th of January 2023. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Although in Port Fitzroy the weather appears settled, reports show a 4 to 5 metre swell in the direction of Kawau Island, which is where we must go to deliver the tents and supplies from the camp in the last video. For now we are heading to the next bay, Kaiara Bay, and we will anchor off Bush's Beach. We plan to walk to Kaiara Hut along the dock path which follows the Kaiara River.
I like these red things, or orange. trees growing on the shoreline.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I heaver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's heavering to you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm working, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, oh, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you. And if I drove, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's going over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man who's coming home with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Do you know where you're going from there? I don't think the track goes up from there. Gee, those foundations aren't very square. Oh, this is just a hut. Yeah, this is a hut. There's another sign over there that might tell us where. There's room. go by down here would be by that stream. I take it that way to the dam, I would think. I think it will down there. Lunch by the stream? This is the road that went down there. It's alright, I'm just having a look. Well, this water's nice. I'd sit down, but I got no extra pants. That's not super cold. They drive in from here, look. I see there's another split tree that's new. That's not old. Car park that's over there, this is where they drive in towards the hut. Imagine they use a truck. It was a nice wee walk. We could get to Fitzroy. It's less than an hour. We've been over this side. That's the bridge. There's a toilet just over here. We can vouch it's an hour to Fitzroy because we walked it. Just a couple of minutes. I bet you don't come, I bet you wait there. But this is the track we ended up on our 11 hours. So we've bypassed 9 out of 11 hours. We're sailing around an extra bay. So that's definitely new.
I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm working, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, oh, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you. And if I drove, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's going over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man who's coming home with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Well, you should be able to see a temperature.
Does it say? It's quite difficult to read, but it's there. 44. So that's 44 degrees. Look at that. Fridge is on.
How many places in New Zealand can you see a sunset as beautiful as this? We stayed in this bay overnight. We moved to Smokehouse Bay in the morning. Drinks on the deck led to a night sky experience that you will not see very many places in the world. Great Barrier has a night sky experience that most people don't understand.